All right, everyone, it's your boy Crimson Jake back at it again with another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about the recent Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG announcement that just came out today on September 22nd in 2025. So this is it's a new format that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has come out with to try and get people back kind of into the game. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! Genesys, Genesis with a Y, that's how you know it's cool. And, so like everything, I want to be a good steward, and let's look at this thing by itself, right? Like, I want to talk about the good and the bad on this thing, okay? The Genesis rules are simple. No Link or Pendulum monsters are allowed. All other cards are allowed. The original field layout is used with no extra monster zones or pendulum zones, okay? The standard forbidden and limited cards list is not used. All of those cards can be used except Link monsters and Pendulum monsters. Usual limit of 3 copies of max of any card still applies. So this basically says no ban list, right? What cards you use is dictated solely by what we're going to talk about next. Deck construction uses a point system. Some cards are assigned a point value. Most cards are 0, so if they are not listed here below, then they are 0. The total point cost of cards in your main deck, extra deck, and side deck combined cannot exceed the point cap for the event. Okay? The standard point cap is 100, but events may run with any point cap or even a 0 point cap. Official tournament stores can set their own caps for their own tournaments. So at first you're like, oh, okay, this doesn't seem so bad. It's just kind of traditional play. No links, no pendulums. A little bit Yu-Gi Boomer, but whatever. Most cards cost 0 points, and there's more than 10,000 cards in the game. So it's like, okay, this isn't going to be all that bad. Standard point cap being 100, well, how much are these cards worth? Abyss Dweller, which is a good Xyz monster, right? Like, it's good. It's seen a lot of competitive play. It's a good card, right? It's not like, oh my god, I'm going to spend $40 on this one copy, but it's a good card. Is already 100 points, right? And so you're like, oh, so this is kind of what we're dealing with. So you can already take that and look and kind of see that 100 is the max point cap for most of these cards, okay? Which is fine, right? It's like, okay, so I guess if I want to run this good card, I can't run other ones, right? Like, I can't run 2 Abyss Dwellers because it's 200 points. And if I run 1 Abyss Dweller, then I can't run anything else on this list, right? So it's like, okay, all right, that's kind of cool. So let's look at, what some of these are. So all of the barrier statues are essentially quote-unquote limited to 1 because they're worth 60 points, right? But again, it depends on event to event and whatever. So let's look at some other, let's look at some key cards that are always in every deck, right? So let's look at Ash Blossom. 15 points. So you can run your 3 copies at 45 points, right? And I think this is an example that just kind of goes to show what mindset they are making these formats in, okay? Because I'm just going to be honest, no links and no pendulums already reads like very Yu-Gi Boomer. I am of the opinion that there is nothing inherently wrong with pendulum and link monsters as a format. What I think the majority of people's problem is with these mechanics is the fact that they tend to be a bit too convoluted from card by card, right? Like, no one is complaining about Ignite, Dino Mist, or even Klee for that matter, which was super competitively viable in 2015. No one's complaining about these archetypes anymore, right? And it's not because the archetypes are just bad. It's just because the game state has developed so much to the point to where, by contrast, they are bad, right? Because they're not doing a 20-minute combo with cards with the text length the size of an encyclopedia, right? And again, I'm all for some innovation plays. I myself, in the current format, I play Heroes, right? Which is more of a rogue deck. And my decks do take a long time to pull off my combo because it's a combo deck, right? The point is for me to play for 15 minutes, get all my monsters and combos out, and then you play, you do your combo, and then we fight, right? So whatever. That's really what people don't like about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the fact that turns take way too long because the events are so complicated. So unless you really know your way in and out of the game, you're playing a mind game of like, okay, well, when am I going to drop my Dimensional Shifter? When am I going to play DD Crow? When am I going to play Ash Blossom? Right? Like, that's the point of the game. The point isn't necessarily like, oh, whatever. It's how do I stop my opponent from playing, basically. So, when I read this, Ash Blossom is 15 points. What that tells me is that you're not really contributing to a slower game state. What you're actually doing is just appeasing people who are like, no links, no pendulums, I stopped playing because half monster, half spell, that's complicated. What? The places where I put my monsters matter now? That's crazy, and whatever, right? Like, they're just kind of Yugi Boomer complaints. And I wish I could say that it's just Ash Blossom, but, like, we can go down here. Let's look at Max C. All the way down here. M's. Max C is worth 50. So I can run 2 Max C's in my deck, as long, sure, I might build, like, a crappy other deck without, like, some really, really good cards. But, like, for example, in Hero, right? So, like, let's check out Hero. Hero does have some really strong cards. So, Master Hero Dark Law is 70. Okay. That's not a hero card. Destiny Hero, DPE, and Plasma are 20 and 20. And in a hero deck, if you're running Plasma, it's a 1-of. Destroyer Phoenix is always a 1-of. So right there's 40, okay? And then Stratos is 3, a copy. So that's 46 if I just want to run these cards. You know, and like, let's say maybe I want to drop Plasma. Let's say I'm not running Plasma, okay? And I run Dark Law. So I run Dark Law, I run 3 Stratos, and I run DPE for 96 points, right? And so it's like, this doesn't really affect anything, right? Like, this is fine. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thing, is this just, it reads like Konami doesn't know what to do with the game, right? Pot of Greed is 30, so you can run 3 Pot of Greeds. Pot of Desires is 20. Pot of Prosperity is 40. And the fact that Greed is 30 is kind of funny to me. But, like, something else that I think also just kind of goes to this game state is I feel like even in Yu-Gi-Oh!, when you are making a new format, let's see here. Okay. None of the Forbidden One cards are present. It's just Chalice, Droplet, and Lance, right? And Droplet being Tid? Oh, wow, okay. So, you can run 15 copies worth of Exodia on top of these Pot of Greed cards, right? That was like 60, but still, you're just going to run as many of those as you can. Is the Library Monster card here? Royal Magical Library. I don't think... That's 100? Is that the card I'm thinking of? Search Google. It is the card I'm thinking of. Okay. So they do mitigate it in that way, too. But, I mean, I don't know. Skill Drain being 100. Okay, so some of these cards aren't terrible. The Solemns, Solemn Warning, Strike, and Judgment, those are so low. So it looks like that they're trying to, like, mitigate some of, like, Floodgate play, right? Because, like, Skill Drain is so low. Is, Dimensional Barrier here? Yeah, Barrier is here. Barrier's 100. Okay. Shifter is 5. That's crazy. Droll and Lockbird, 7. So, like, this is what's weird to me. It's like, these hand traps arguably see more play than these, right? But I don't, like, this is so weird to me. Like, these trap cards are arguably worse because you have to wait a turn to set them and you can't interact with your opponent during the opponent's turn. What about a Imperm? Imperm is 15. Instant Fusion is 100? Like, Jet Synchron is 1? Like, this is so weird. It's just, this. So much of this is all over the place, right? And so, I don't, lose 1 turn is 100, so, like, the trap floodgates, I just don't understand why this is so, why they're going so hard in one direction and they're going so light in another. Monster Reborn isn't that big a deal. It's 20? Yeah, it's 20, I guess. Monster Gate being 50, sure. But yeah, like, so much of this is so arbitrary. And here's the other thing, too, is I don't think Konami knows what to do with the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. Like, Rush Duel is fantastic in the East, and so many people want them to bring it over to the West, and for whatever reason, they just won't do it. So instead, they have formats like this that are, like, a little odd. Like, I don't know. To me, Link Monsters and Pendulums aren't the problem. It's cards that are just so... I mean, it's the cards that enable you to do, like, 10, 15, 20-minute combos, right? And your opponent's just sitting there without any kind of, like, engagement to be done. And then even when they have engagement, like Ash Blossom or DD Crow or Dimensional Shifter, so many of those just kind of, like, knock away at decks. Like, for example, Heroes, where it's like, oh, okay, you know, I have an Achilles heel, so if you Ash me on Vion, then yeah, I lose the duel, right? Like, I can't combo past Vion anymore without continuing. I mean, this is what Yu-Gi-Oh! I think needs is separate tiers of formats where, like, certain cards are better because of the fact of, like, what they are, right? Which is what they're trying to do here, but this is just so arbitrary. Like, Anti-Spell Grants paying 100, sure, that makes sense. Imagination Draco Overlord. I don't even remember playing against that card, in all honesty. Artifact Scythe is good, but I don't think it's worth 100 points, right? Like, so many of these are just so back and forth. Brain Research Lab being 100, Book of Moon and Eclipse being 5 and 7? Like, Called by the Grave being 20, Card Destruction and Demise are 40? Like, yeah, Catapult Turtle being 100. And the reason why is because, like, some of these cards just aren't banned anymore. So, like, Cannon Soldier may or may not be here. It's not here. So Cannon Soldier is unlimited, but Catapult Turtle is effectively limited to 1. And all of this is arbitrary depending on, like, what cap your event has. The standard is 100. But I feel like most events are probably going to shoot to, like, 300 or 500 by standard, right? So, yeah, I don't know. This kind of doesn't solve the problem it looks like it's trying to solve, right? Like, the game is just too fast. This doesn't slow it down. This just makes it fast in a different lane, right? So, I don't know. I'm not really a fan. Like, I guess this might be a fun format, but, like, the other thing, too, is, like, Magic the Gathering and Pokemon have so many different variations of cards to where, like, well, this one version of a Lowland Muck or Grimer is good in this one format, but it's bad in another, right? So because, like, there's different versions on Grimer and Muck, you can get whatever one you need depending on what format you have. Well, this format, since Master Rule is still, like, the main way to play, I don't really know how this is going to affect, like, the market price. You know what I mean? Like, Magical Library being worth 100 points makes it seem like it's a really, really good card. But it's worth 10 cents, right? Versus, like, I mean, Ash Blossom has gone down in price, but I don't know. Like, DPE was worth a couple, like, closer to $20 last time I checked, but it's probably gone down. Kashtira is probably still expensive. Dimensional Shifter, maybe? Let's try Dimensional Shifter. I don't actually know if you guys can see the timer recording thing. You probably could. Shopping? Okay, no, this card is, like, super cheap. So, but, I don't know. I feel like my point stands. Is, like, this just seems so arbitrary, and it doesn't fix the problem it's intending to fix. Instead, it just makes another problem, right? And, like, we had Speed Duels, we had Rush Duels, then we had Time Wizard and Edison and other stuff, too. And I'm getting the feeling that they just don't know what they're doing. Like, E-Teleport being 40, so you can run 2 copies of it. I mean, that's fine. Stratos being 3. Like, certain decks just don't care about this. Final Countdown being 100. Like, the only purpose of this is because if 100 is the standard, then you only run 1 copy, right? So it's effectively the same thing as a ban list. I'm not, like... I don't know. I think the point system works. I just think they're doing it really oddly. right? Like, in certain decks, like, for example, my hero deck, my combos still work even without the Link monsters as extenders, right? And so the fact that, oh, well, now I have to choose between Dark Law and 6, 7, 8 other cards, it's like, okay, I'll just drop Dark Law. Like, I don't need mass change in my deck. I can run heroes without it. So, I don't know. This just, it seems like, yeah, it's trying to solve a problem in like the most roundabout way possible. And it's just to appease Yugi boomers who are like, oh, no Lynx, no Pendulum, no Ash, no Exodia, and whatever. But, I mean, ironically enough, Exodia is totally allowed. Like, there's no cap on that. I guess not having the library is like a bummer, because normally that's a 3 of, and now it's a 1 of. But, like, if you can drop library and run 3 copies of Pot of Greed, I mean, duh. You know what I mean? Like, so, anyways. Oh, yeah, let's look at Rhoda. What is Rhoda? Rhoda is 40. That's hilarious. So, anyway, guys. So, yeah. I mean, I'm more of a casual player. Like, I don't play super competitively. I play casual decks in a, like, competitive mindset, I guess. Like Heroes and Synchrons and Cyber Dragons and stuff like that. I'm not, like, playing Kashtira or the Malice or anything like that. So, but anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this kind of format in the comments below. And, yeah, this is Jake logging out. Peace.